Welcome to Milestone Moments, the show where we explore the journeys that lead to success. I'm Sheila Slick, your host and founder of 5 Milestones. In every episode, we will bring you insights from the minds of entrepreneurs, leaders, and experts who will share not just their expertise, but the milestone moments that have reshaped their journeys and led to significant achievements. So if you're looking for motivation, you're in the right place. Subscribe now and discover the milestones that mark the path to success. Welcome to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. I'm Sheila Slick, your host, and today my special guest is Judy Slater. Judy is a transformational leader, a spiritual guide, and a creative visionary committed to integrating spirituality, healing, and the arts. An ordained pastor in the Presbyterian Church with over 40 years of experience, Judy blends her expertise in coactive leadership, adaptive change, and energy healing to help individuals and organizations navigate an evolving world. She holds certifications in intuition medicine, trauma wellness techniques, and spirituality, health, and medicine, equipping her to guide clients through growth, resilience, and self discovery. Judy is passionate about reimagining leadership, helping individuals embrace innovation while staying grounded in purpose. And whether she's coaching individuals or leading group training, she empowers leaders to cultivate clarity, courage, and transformation. Welcome to the show, Judy.
Great to be here today.
So, you have walked such a rich path from ordained ministry to energy healing and leadership coaching. What was that key moment or that turning point that led you to blend spirituality, healing, and the arts in the work that you do today?
Well, I think there were a couple of pivotal moments, and it was more like collecting pieces along the way. I started out in medicine, and so that was kind of the physical healing piece. And then I went to seminary. And after that, I had some chronic health issues. And so I realized that medical piece was kind of for me. But the first really pivotal moment was taking a course in spirituality, health, and medicine and realizing that I was a healer, that I yearned for physical healing, but also the spiritual healing, because 99% of illness is spiritually based. And by that, I mean that the love bond has been broken in some way. So that took me down another path about looking at myself, looking at what love is, looking at the different diseases, illnesses, which ones are, and that sort of thing. And then the second major piece was actually the second one was doing the leadership training. I mean, I think I'd always been a leader, but I never really felt I had the qualifications. And so studying adaptive leadership and doing the CTI Coaches Training Institute, is now Coaches Training International Leadership Program, really brought to the fore the different kinds of leadership that you can use, because I'm not in the business world. I've come from the service perspective. And so the regular business model isn't one that I fit well with. So the adaptive and transformational leadership kind of became my way in. And then third was the certification in intuition medicine. And people kept saying, "Oh, you're so intuitive. You're so intuitive." And I didn't realize, I don't see colors. I don't see things. I don't see any of that stuff. But there's this deep knowing. And I realized that I have trusted that my whole life. And that has what's helped me on my path. So being able to name that and really being able to see that everything is energy and change languages has helped me kind of speak that universal language. So that works with my coaching, that works with my leadership, that works with my healing. So that's a little maybe complex answer, but I think my life has been kind of complex.
Well, it just gives you more experience in helping others with
Yeah.
what you do.
Yeah.
And I personally love what you said about leadership, and there's different types of leadership out there. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, so I have worked in organizations and I earned a master's of leadership, and it was focused a lot on organization. My latest one has been applying that to the self leadership because we are all CEO of our lives. And leadership, no matter what kind, all starts from within. So I loved how you pointed that out as well.
Yes, I totally agree. We are leaders of our own lives. And that's the most important and first leadership position we have.
And in your website, I found a quote that resonated with me. It made my heart beat. And it states, your relationship with yourself is the key to your relationship with everyone and everything else in your life.
Yeah.
You are a complete package and you have all that you need at every given moment to simply self wonderful.
Yeah.
So, in your experience guiding transformation, what would be an unexpected truth about self discovery that you believe has the power to shift how we lead ourselves?
But like you said, and I said this, the most important relationship you have is with yourself. And we so often look outside of ourselves for validation and love and everything else. And so the key is really to love yourself. Now, that's great. We can work on self love and self confidence and self esteem and all those things. But what smack dab comes to us immediately is what I call the self woundings. So, those places in our lives where we've picked up, usually from other people's examples and experiences, that critical, that judgmental, that loathing, that self pity, all those things that block us from being ourselves. And so you've got these beautiful self wonderfuls, but then you have these self woundings. And I really believe that our transformational work is working on those wounding gifts. And I do call them gifts because that's what makes us grow and transform if we're willing to work on them. So that's the unexpected. It's like, up, there it is.
So, when you say wounding, is it experiences pain? What exactly is the
That's
definition of?
Yeah, it's anything that detracts from being the 100% you. I like to talk in healing and energy terms. You need to be 100% full of yourself. And you want to be full of that loving, caring, wonderful self.
So, if someone is struggling with some of those aspects, how do you help them?
Well, and it's funny because, that's not what they come for. They come for something else. And so when you begin to say, this is coming up again and this is coming up again, I first like to just acknowledge that we're all wounded. That's what makes us human. Humans are never meant to be perfect. We are perfectly imperfect, and that's a phrase I use all the time. And so it's living into our imperfections. And so for clients and leaders, it's really just kind of what's underneath that. And so a lot of it is about awareness. What's the pattern that's been there? Where is it in your body? What does it prevent you from doing? What would you like to do instead? And so there's kind of a whole process of exploration, curiosity, intrigue, even. The typical phrase is peeling back the layers of an onion, but onions make me cry. So, you know, I think I find a better illustration. But it's really kind of going on, for me, it's going on a treasure hunt. Again, back to that self wounding. Those are part of our lives to produce the jewels and gems that we can then use as we move forward.
In your book, do you share a process or do you share examples?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, and my book is called The Simply Self-Wonderful Inner Workout Book, and it started as a card deck because I just didn't ever think I was gonna write a book, and so the card deck has, the definitions of the self-wonderfuls and the self-woundings in a really creative form, and then they have mandalas and then a little blurb, but it's like, "Wait, that's not enough." So in my book, I included affirmations, I included quotes, and then I used the term MEPS. So there's 5 areas of focus: the mental, the emotional, the physical, the social, and the spiritual. And yes, you can't, tease out these parts in reality, but to look at them each. And so I have people look at the different areas in each one of those categories. Um, the workout book is really a workout because it's not just easy, fluffy stuff. Like I said, it's kind of going below the layers and looking at things. And yet there's some really fun things. Like one of my favorite self wonderfuls is a self portrait. And it's not like, drawing one. It's taking words and about yourself and making a word cloud or other kind of creative things. So there's a lot of joy and creativity and exploration as you do them.
I like that. And with the cards, are they complementary? Can you use either the deck of cards or do you have to use them together with the book? How do the cards work?
And people buy them separately. The book is just black and white, and I'm a color person. So I really like the card deck, and I do have a habit of just drawing a card from some deck every day. I don't go into the full tarot reading thing, but I found that I'll pull a card. And then my newest adventure, and this was just completed last week, is I've put the card deck on a new app. It's called Deckable. And so you can have more than 2 sides, which was really fun. So I've got each card with the mandala and the definition, and then a little blurb, and then a video that asks you questions for each aspect. So that's a new thing. So again, when I when I wrote it, I'm like, just be creative, use it however you want. But the nice thing about the app is that you can have it where you are, and you can also share it. You can share the card that you pulled so you can share it with other people. So it's a little bit more interactive.
So with the app, does it limit how many cards you can pull? Because I'm assuming that it's a card per day.
No, it's not. You can pull it's an amazing app. You can pull a spread, you can have it shuffle, you can have 1, 2, or 3 cards. You can choose your own, you can flip the sides, and you can take cards from other decks and pull them into your reading.
Wow.
So you
And this
can
is all part of a self-discovery process.
Yes, yes.
So how can a business leader, an entrepreneur, an individual, a professional tap into their inner wisdom? Perhaps if they're pivoting or transitioning or maybe facing challenging times.
Well, and the thing is, I think, that it's the name of my business, okay? It's Interlude, INNER. It's a play on the words of interlude in music. So you've got the music, but then you have the space in between the sections. And so for me, it's about going inward because our culture wants to do, 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 do. And so I'm saying, hey, in order to do, we need to go inside, spend some time in quiet. And for me, being quiet is really hard. And so it doesn't necessarily mean sitting and meditating. There's forms of spiritual practice that are active. So spiritual walking, dancing, whatever kind of movement that you use. But it's the intention is looking within and then just allowing, again, that wisdom to come. In my intuition medicine work, we talk about the analyzer brain, and that's the one that we're always asking questions, and that's where the monkey mind is, and that's in the front of your head. But there is that meditation sanctuary that's kind of in the middle, and that's the place that we go that slows us down, that opens us to a wider vision, a wider view, a wider realm of consciousness. And that's where we want to be doing our inner work from. And then the third place, I'll just say it, is the reptilian brain. And that's kind of the brain that our world is in right now. It's all about fear and anxiety. And you cannot think rationally from that place. So I'm encouraging business leaders and clients and anyone who's listening to this podcast or anyone else is to really go to that meditative place. And whether you sit there, whether you intend while you're walking, just let things come. Don't force anything. It has its own time. And I think that's what, back to that kind of first question, I think that's what I discovered along my journey is that anytime I tried to force something, it didn't work out. And finally I learned it's like, oh, I just have to wait for the right thing to come. So again, it's giving space for things to come.
Well, there's that saying, patience is a virtue. I always have to remind myself of that because I'm sometimes impatient. I am an action taker. I want it done.
Me too. It's like patience. I'm always learning patient because I'm not very patient.
So, what would be your next milestone?
Well, I really I really am passionate about people feeling self-wonderful about themselves. When I created the book and the card deck, I kind of had women and teen girls in mind, but really it's applicable and written for everyone. And so I've just been imagining this out in the world, that people take time for themselves, really begin to understand themselves, work on themselves. And I know it seems kind of like a luxury or a privilege, but it's necessary in order for our world to become more loving and caring and compassionate. It does begin with us. So, my goal is to just keep the ripples going out. Thank you.
I did a big heart. That resonates with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you tell our audience where they can find you, the book, the cards?
Okay. So I've said all the buzzwords before. So my website is interludecoach.com with the INNER. And then the book and the card deck are at simplyselfwonderful.com. And that is linked to my regular website. So you can find it going either place. And then deckable.com, DECKIBLE. And spell check always wants to spell it wrong because it's a weird word. It's a made up word. You can go to deckable.com and then I think it says marketplace. And then you can find you download the app and then you can buy the deck and use it on your phone or your tablet. And then, of course, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn and other places. You can find me.
Well, I'll make sure to leave the URLs in the description
Okay.
of this episode so that anyone that wants to reach out or to buy the workbook or the deck of cards or download the app can do so by just clicking on the link.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sheila. It's been wonderful.
It has. And thank you all for joining us on another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. Until next time.